Oh man. Hey, you going through my toolbox again? What did you say last time? Put it on your tab? Put it on the tab. Welcome back, everybody. I have current projects that just never get worked on because I have trucks I use on a daily basis that need a couple things every once in a while, and I had to resort to going and doing a very bad sin. I had to put this truck back to complete stock because I ran out of time to get it the 12 valve exemption on it, and I needed to pass smog so that I could register it so I could drive the truck. Let me tell you, I got a clip. It is an absolute slow pig. This thing is down to absolute bone stock. It has zero acceleration. Oh my. Foot to the floor, 5th gear. It took it, what did I say, 2 sentences before it gained 5 miles an hour. This is gonna change. I'm gonna go home and work on this. Look at that. I put it back to stock like last night. I didn't even tighten everything down apparently. But I have a clip driving around with it on complete stock. Past smog, which is weird and awesome at the same time because, well, it's stock engine-wise, but it had an automatic transmission. So if you guys have ever swapped to a stick shift and don't do anything about the automatic wiring, it will throw a check engine light. Check engine light means no pass of smog. But anyway, the main point of this video is I'm going to take this back to not being a complete dog, and I'm going to address something because it is a 12 valve and it has a 53 block. 98 12 valves, pretty much all of them have a 53 block. I have 2 98 12 valves, both are 53 blocks. There's a remedy that I'm going to show you guys, and I have a couple buddies that have trucks 3, 4, 500,000 miles on a 53 block, and they're still doing fine. There's one right there. You haven't remedied it, you just got lucky. But yeah, a lot of wide open throttle for old Heartlicker over there, and that 99 24 valve with the with the 53 block, and that truck's got, what, you got 340? She's still going. Oh man. But anyway, we're gonna start with taking the water pump out and taking all this stuff off. But a 53 block, the main issue with them is a thin block. The casting on the water jacket behind the turbo right here is thin, so it's a thin wall. Easiest way to remedy that is to get the water pressure and turn it down a little bit. How you turn down the water pressure, there's not a valve at the end of the water pump, but we can clip the fins on the water pump so that it cannot push as hard, and some say that it slows down the volume of water and it'll actually have a better cooling displacement because the water's not rushing by it so fast. That's somebody that's been driving a truck for years doing this. That's what they told me. So what I'm going to do now is pull the water pump out. Got to drain the old coolant out of her though. I know you can get this out on a common rail really easy. Don't tell me I got to take more garbage out of the way. It's a boy. Oh, barely. Look at that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we need to trim an 1/8 inch off this thing. Off the fins, I'll show you. But I got to get this, got to cut this ring off first. So the easiest way to take this ring off, so I did last time, I just cut a bunch of slits, and then these things are just spot welded on there, so they just pop off. But together they actually got a little bit of strength, and then we'll do the trimming. Okay, now that we got the little ring out of the way, we need to take an 1/8 inch across the whole fin, just like that. Sharpie's pretty close, just so you got a ballpark, so you're not just cutting away and you don't even know where you're at. This is just a good gauge. Guys say this is a sled pulling trick because 53 blocks are easy for them to get a hold of because everybody thinks they're trash, which you know, they could be. But they say that you clip these fins just like this, and it reduces the water pressure inside of the block, like I was saying. And my buddy Roland, that's who I initially got this tip from, He would have, on one of his trucks back in the day, he had a water pressure gauge on the block. And he said at 2,000 RPM, something like 60 PSI of water pressure on the inside of the block. But he's got 500,000 miles on his 53 block. This trick, he swears, does the job, and so do a bunch of his buddies. Just like that, done. Shaved about an 1/8 inch off. You want to make sure you get those little extra, because that's what you're left over with. It's just a little sliver. You don't want that thing getting inside your water passage and your block and stuff. So clean that up good. I'm going to hit it with a little brake clean, pressurized air, and throw it in the truck. Now some people probably be like, well, is it going to lose its cooling and everything like that? My buddy Roland, that I got this idea from, I've seen him towing some pretty big loads with his 12 valve, and that truck never gets warm. Never. It's a good running truck with 500,000 miles on it, 53 block, and he's done this trick right here to it. So I'm going to trust the fact that his has done that, and we're going to roll with it. I really wish I could just get this in right here. That happened to go the scenic route, but scenic route it is. Foot, don't lose the gasket. I got it in upside down. Oh, that's the right way. Get in your home. Pull the belt. Ah, she came off that bottom. Oh, she came back on. Come on, baby. I just need a little bit. Oh, there we go. Boom, boom. Get out of here. Truck's got 233,000 miles on it. Original engine. 53 block, water pump, clip, remedy. Installed, done. Drain the coolant, remove the belt, 2 bolts for the pump, grind on the water pump fins for a little bit, throw it all back together. 30 minutes later, we are done. But what I'm going to do now, it is, what time? We'll check it. 7:56. I'm going to turn this truck back into a man, and we're going to pull some parts off. You guys know what they are. But I'm just going to time-lapse it and see how long it takes me to make this thing have some balls again. That includes taking stuff off top, tuning the pump, and pulling the caterpillar off the exhaust. I made it easy so that thing comes right off in case I have to do this crap again, but I kind of vow I won't ever have to. Let's go ahead and get it. I don't know how we did on time, guys. I don't know. Mainly because I couldn't find my freaking drill gun. Oh, I bet you it's been 35 minutes. Ah, dang it. 35. You guys see it? Confirmation. Oh, I forgot the intake too. But I was trying to find some spacers right here. Couldn't find them, so I just used some nuts to put my EGD probe on the delete plate. But everything else is back on there. I need to do a little tap on there and put the intake on. But I'll show you guys what I did down here. There was a couple things I forgot I needed to do, like slit the old exhaust so that it would slide on better. But I got these nice clamps. Those things made a world of difference because they don't put the, you know, like the U-bolts, they dent the crap out of the pipe. That's what was on there before. That's why I had trouble getting it back together and apart. But that cat that I had on there, I just put it on with these. That slid in there. It's one of those that's made for it, so it's spread on one end and then tight on the side. That bad boy's authentic right there. It's off 94. She bolted right in. So let's go ahead and finish the rest of this thing and start it up and see how she's doing. Let's be honest. Is the job really ever done? There's always 5% stuff left to do. Always. Forgot to hook up my gauges. So we gotta hook that guy up. And then we gotta hook this little gem up so that we know what our boost is doing. Just, it's all in the details. Just a couple details, no big deal. I unplugged this because I took the pyrometer all the way off. I didn't want to land in there when they were smogging it. This isn't really a big deal. Anything that I've just done. Pretty simple. But once I hook the batteries back up, the gauges will work. Oh man. I'm pretty sure this goes to this truck. Come on, get your butt on there, you pile of junk. I don't know how I feel about this big old intake. It just kind of, it's a big old intake. I took it off there with just one clamp. Are you gonna do what I want? Or are you gonna fight me the whole way? That's where we lose our fingers. There we go. It rides freaking on top, dang near, of the oil feed. There we go. Now the truck can breathe again 100%. Damn, there's always one thing. Yeah, we don't have a boost leak. I wouldn't consider this truck like my hot rod truck, but I would like to have, you know, some amount of power. And doing what I just did is very minimal, very easy to do. Literally took 30 minutes, not even 35, 40, whatever. When this truck gets done, that one will be the one that drops the power. As for now, this is just kind of, we want to actually use this truck. I'm going to go ahead and gather up the tools that it requires to do those simple little modifications. Right there, that plate. After driving it stock, I will 100% say when they tell you that's good for 120 extra horsepower, putting a zero plate in there, yeah, it is an absolute dog in stock form. Let me gather these tools. When they say that all you need is a screwdriver to make horsepower out of these trucks, it is a little bit more than a screwdriver, but a screwdriver is involved. But right there, that's all the tools, theoretically all you need to do what I just did to turn the fuel up on this. Emission stuff, that doesn't really matter, who cares? But that's all you need. I got like less than 10 tools and you can gain 120 horsepower. All right, this is a side rant right here. I've had tons of these 12 valves. I have 5-speed or 6-speed swapped all of them. Every one of them that I have ever owned, I have 5-speed swapped or flipped it before I even got a chance to do that, I guess. But the ones that I kept around, they had a stick shift swap in them. One of those did come with a new engine to go with the 5-speed swap, and it had a 215 pump. When you put a zero plate behind a 215 pump, they don't even list what the rating is for the horsepower, but I just remember that truck had way more power than these ones that I had. So as far as delivery valves and injectors and stuff like that, that truck will receive all that. And turbo modifications, probably compounds and stuff like that later on down the road, because it's got A decent clutch that I want to see its limits of, and it's got NV 5600, which everybody claims is the toughest son of a bitch around, and we're going to find that out. So, whenever I start a project, I always try to keep up on putting all my tools back like every time, and sometimes I can keep up with it. But when this whole last week, I put 4 trucks back to stock, and let me tell you, that is a big sin. But 2 of those 4 went back to having fun, and then I even brought in another one and turned it up also. The green truck has more juice now. Where does this one go? There's your home, buddy. So later on with this, I'm going to put governor springs in the red 98, and then I'm going to turn up the timing a little bit to see what it can, you know, have a little bit more fun with it. I don't want to go too much with it because I like to just regular drive the truck. I don't want to get a little too ahead of myself and then not really want to drive it because it's not drivable anymore. So I'm going to just pace myself with it. We'll have some fun. And look at that, all my 10 millimeters there. Let's start this truck up when I clean this, and then we'll end the video. I'll tell you, sometimes stuff just forces you to swap it out. Radiator was completely fine, no problems with it at all. I drained the coolant just to do that simple little fix with the water pump, and I'm pouring the coolant in, I hear something dripping. Drip, drip. It's escalated what's on the floor since then, but the little shut-off petcock thing, the valve broke. When I tightened it up, it just kept spinning. So I swapped it out and put a different one in there trying to think that would fix it. Nope. So I put this hose on there trying to block it off on the end. That didn't fix it. So we need to put a new radiator in there. Luckily I got inventory of those dang things, but I might just order an all aluminum one. They're only a couple $100 and be done with it. But I'm just going to go ahead and start the truck right now. Put a bucket underneath that thing and let it fill up. Again, this is all on the ground because I pulled the other petcock out. I must have thrown it, but it looked kind of stripped on the front. Whatever. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fixed 2 things, discovered 1 more that needs fixed, but I did manage to get rid of, look at those came on, no check engine light, and the EGR is taken off. All you gotta do is put a plug on it. That is good. Normally, those things would come up immediately, so forgot to tell you guys what I did to get rid of the check engine lights for the transmission. All I did was plug in the transmission wiring harness into the plug down below. There's just no transmission hooked up to any of the sensors, but the light stayed off long enough for this thing to get past smog. I'm going to end this video here, guys, other than taking it for a test drive. You guys seen it driven 20, 30 times with the tunes that are in it. Not tunes, but the screwdriver manipulation. But unfortunately, I have to swap out a radiator. Luckily, that only takes, shoot, that's another like 15-minute job. I might as well just knock that out right now. Nah, that's after. I'll edit this video for you guys tonight. Don't worry about that radiator. I don't need the truck tomorrow. I'll take a different one. I actually use it for a work truck today. We're rambling. We'll see you guys on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and go have fun with your own truck. See ya.